one love, one heart. Let's get together and feel all right. And I never forget you, Imam Dr. Talib Sharif, when he told us, you know what, let's change up our motto a little bit to be one race human in one space earth with one embrace, which is love. Because before we had it differently. And, you know, he's a guy that he's a wordsmith, that he's an expert at that. And he told us that, I think it was about 4 years ago. And ever since, that has just been our complete motto. Welcome, welcome everyone to our panel. And the name of our panel is The Importance of Multi-Faith Collaborations for Peaceful Existence. You know, if you see yourself as one race, one human, embracing in love, it's very difficult to go to war. It's very difficult because you'll be going to war with someone that you empathize with, someone that you see yourself in. It'll be like hurting yourself. So if you truly love yourself, you wouldn't hurt somebody who looks like you. And that means not just war, but it means financial collaborations. You know, it means building institutions together, such as GODSU, where that's the foundation. You know, where we do not discriminate against people. Absolutely not. In fact, it's so funny because GODSU was formed out of the fact that I worked at another university that definitely discriminated. People who came in who were Hindu, Muslim, any other faith, you know, Buddhist, they could not achieve certain levels of recognition because of who they are. In fact, in the interview, if you practiced yoga, meditation, or even massages, that school would look at you as if you're less than. And it bothered me, you know. And in fact, I was saying to Imam Dr. Talib that the folks of the Islamic faith that I have met through GODSU, you know, they practice more Christian faith, more Christian principles than even the Christians in terms of kindness, gentleness. They correct you with love, all the various things that sometimes we lack. And so if we just look at people as humans and stop categorizing them as to who we prefer because of, and look at what's in their heart. In fact, I believe the great Martin Luther King said it best, is to judge someone by their character, not by the color of their skin. I'm going to go further, not by their face. So with that said, I'm going to call on each of my distinguished panelists to give us their background. I'm going to give you 2 minutes to give your background and what you bring to this table here at GODSU. I'm going to start with Imam Dr. Talib Sharif, who is our director of our Multi-Faith Council.
Thank you, Madam Chancellor. It's such an honor again to be back with everyone and to be on here. Again, if you haven't heard earlier, I spent 30 years in the military. I worked with the chaplaincy along the way. I was also an Arabic linguist. I ended up getting in the arena of international interfaith peace building, serving as for the oldest interfaith organization in America. I was the president and also chairman of that organization. And it's certainly an honor to be directing interfaith for this distinguished organization here, GODSU. I'm the president of Masjid Muhammad, the Nation's Mosque. It is the oldest mosque in America's history that was built from the ground up by American citizens who happen to be descendants of enslaved Africans. Although now today we are very diverse with over 40 nationalities, and we're doing extremely dynamic work in the interfaith arena with nationally and also internationally. Thank you.
Outstanding man of God here. We spent a lot of time with Imam and his entire family, Tahira and children. We've met a couple of them, grandchildren, you know, just an exemplary man of God. Thank you so much, Imam Dr. Talib Sharif, and we absolutely love you. Love, love, love to you. All right, let's have our next panelist introduce himself, Dr. Mohammed Ali Chaplin. What a name. You know, my
I
father's
know.
favorite sportsman. I mean, oh my
I
goodness.
think I was just lucky to have that name carried around, and I hope I'm doing justice to it. Yeah,
He's
thank
the
you.
greatest IT fighter. That's right.
There you go.
Get it done.
Thanks a lot. And hey, His Excellency Dakar. And Dr. Talib, Sharif, nice to see you again on this platform. Yeah, joining there, my name is Mohammed Ali Chaplin, Dr. Mohammed Ali Chaplin, getting used to it. So, really, getting to know GODSU is one thing that I would say maybe I've come full cycle, right? Because growing up, most of my friends, the people I'll call close friends, they are Christian, and I'm a practicing Muslim. And I learned to find what is good for them, even if I'm putting my life on the line. That is how close we are. So, and still then, which very tender age, I still believe that we serve one God indivisibly, right? And one true God. We might have different messages, maybe through some scripture here, another scripture the other way, right? But we still practice the same principle. Do unto others what you will want others to do unto you. So that is it. It's in the commandments of the scriptures. So if we all abide to that principle, I think the world will be a very peaceful place. So that is what I believe at a tender age. And now coming to this platform to where I see these incredible people here thinking the same way, I'm like, wow, I really have come full cycle.
Outstanding, outstanding. So I want to go back to Imam Dr. Talib. And can you tell us some of the things that you're doing as the director of Interfaith Council here at GODSU to put us in front of various platforms so that they can engage us as well? And this is directed to Imam Dr. Talib Sharif.
Yes, I really appreciate that question. And certainly it was an honor to be able to first begin this space with GODSU in terms of helping to influence the multi-faith curriculum, the course, bringing us together there so they can be something that we can present in the other areas that I'm working in now. In terms of, I mentioned I'm working nationally and internationally with major bodies. So to be able to, in this interfaith, so to have a university that has a multi-faith curriculum, love and spirituality. Most universities don't have that. I have a great relationship with a lot of the interfaith community. And I'm not seeing it like I'm seeing it with GODSU. Not to mention all the other dynamic specific chaplain courses that GODSUs have. Most universities don't have those kind of specific courses that GODSUs have. And the multi-faith is continuing to grow and broaden, and it's a model. So we want to be able to use that as an example to others and get others who are in interfaith to begin to sign up with GODSU to take GODSU multi-faith course, and also meet the chaplains that we have, the diversity of chaplains. You know, we all are a reflection of what came from Adam. You know, from Adam, he being the first, from him came all of the wonderful, beautiful, diverse expressions of human life, all from the human family of Adam. You see, so we want them to be able to see that beauty and this connection. GODSU, that name again. I fell in love with the name before anything when I was introduced to GODSU. Just that name firstly, and then of course everything else fell into place.
And awesome, great comment, great comment. In fact, yesterday in his speech, Dr. Mohammed Ali said the same thing, that he fell in love with the name because we all know the creator God. And so we can all relate to that. And right there, you know, there's no discrimination. Thank you so much for answering that question. And before I ask another question to Dr. Ali, I'm going to bring in Dr. Toni Myers Winfield. And as a chiropractor, she has to deal with people of every single faith. If you think you have to deal with multi-faith, she has to deal with all of them. She has to be in their space. So I want to bring her in as on her perspective as a doctor dealing in the workspace, because that's what we are as global workers of God, is that we work in various places and our chaplaincy and our ministry comes in place. So I want to bring on Dr. Toni Myers Winfield to give her perspective as a doctor working with people from all different religious backgrounds and how she's able to integrate her faith and in helping other people in a multi-faith manner. Dr. Toni.
Thank you, Chancellor. Thank you very much. So yes, through the years, I have come across so many different people that have their values that are different from mine. Growing up, I was Christian Baptist. Then I went to non-denomination. And through my experience through the non-denomination church, we had quite a few collaborations with other faiths. And that just helped me to be more versed in with understanding and studying the Torah. I was able to know more about the Abrahamic religions and Jewish, Christianity, and Islam, and were able to relate more to people that relate to those particular faiths, as well as people who are more maybe Asian in their philosophy. So reading is a must. I find myself reading a lot of spiritual information to help me to relate more, not necessarily to serve as a minister, but to understand their mindsets so that I can be careful in how I speak into their lives and how I help them, because I don't want to come off ignorant or speak from my own perspective in someone's spiritual walk or in the way that they live their life, to impose my beliefs on their belief system, which will cause them more stress and slow their healing, and really just is not the goal. The goal is to get them to feel and operate and live their life to the best, to the most abundant that they can. And so to do that, I have to be more emotionally intelligent to their perspective. And oftentimes that takes my perspective out of the way, because it's all about them and their care. And if there's something that I see from the lens that I have in their particular situation, then I can help get them services for someone who is professional in that area. But at first I have to be aware. And so reading and collaborating with people of other faiths is very important to my work, because it helps me to understand all the different people that I come across.
Excellent. That is an excellent perspective. And I am one of those under your care, and I see the way that you treat everyone across the board with love and respect. And that's why, in putting together these 22 various classes, I looked at, from my perspective and from the perspective of others and their experiences, what do people need to hear? What perspective do they need to listen to? Because there are a lot of folks who, whatever their religious beliefs are, they only deal with people who believe exactly what they believe in. And sometimes many times it can be divisive, and it can cause more tension and conflict, as you said. So, treating people across the board is always best. Thank you so much, Dr. Toni Myers Winfield, who is our expert chiropractor here at GODSU. Before I go to another question, I wanted to bring in Queen Mother Deloise Blakely, who once served as a Catholic nun. And if you remember that movie, that movie was actually made after her life.
Really?
Yes, give her a hand. Absolutely. That was given after her life. And what was interesting is that when they got her story from her, someone unscrupulously then went to the networks and they developed Sister Acts. And actually they called, what's her name again? Whoopi Goldberg, Deloise, the exact same name as Queen Mother, although they still stole the script. And up to this day, she's never been paid. So she's coming from not only being a Catholic nun, but now she is Queen Mother to the entire United States for all of Africa. and she's just outstanding. So Queen Mother, tell them a little bit about your background and tell them your perspective in dealing with people from different faiths. And we love you.
Yes, thank you so kindly that you allowed Queen Mother to come in. I just enjoyed you yesterday and the day before. And I would use the word that I've heard my other colleagues use. It was outstanding. And as the Queen Mother representing 55 million displaced Africans of the transatlantic ocean of the slave trade, and representing the Ark of Return at the United Nations, which I've been engaged as a humanitarian for 52 years. And now intergenerational, as the young people call me, the Queen Mother of hip hop. So I do a lot of hipping with young people. They are my priority as an advisor and as a mentor to them. And with the young people from all over the world, interfaith is imperative that we understand and appreciate the differences that bring forth the culture and the spirit of generations yet not born. And in saying that, interfaith, how do we better understand and communicate with each other? And I am definitely a part of the international interfaith group that we have at the United Nations. And it gives us an opportunity to understand the ways of others and communicate and from the point of what we have in common through religion and what may be different, but the common spirit. And being a member of the interfaith, I say, organization over 20 years at the United Nations, it has taught Queen Mother, I say, a lot in my own understanding of what faith means to me. And faith means to Queen Mother, which the world helped to shape my faith as of today, is spirituality. I believe in spirituality after being a daughter of religion. And believe it or not, can you imagine, less than 3 days ago, I am now been assigned not only as a world chaplain, but also as a co-pastor of one of the largest churches in Chicago, and I live in the village of Harlem. So it doesn't matter of us linking to better understand the holistic approach to life itself, which is spiritual and which is God-like. And so I leave interfaith from that engaging and in realm of life that I have participated in. And I'm participating with you today in interfaith in peace. And I thank you for allowing me to address you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Queen Mother. And as you know, we move in the Holy Spirit here. And we actually have another chaplain we want to bring on, and he happens to be of the Jewish faith. And when you talk about a person who is giving, I mean, he has never missed a GODSU Empower You conference. He's traveled with us to Jamaica. He actually spent a long time in Jamaica helping as an OBGYN, delivering children. I mean, he's done so much good work. He's traveled with us to Washington, D.C. Wherever we ask him to travel, he just packs his bag. And this is a very busy man. And he has been a medical doctor for decades. He actually, his best friend is Dr. Willis Eubanks. Dr. Willis Eubanks is Christian. It doesn't bother this great man of God. So without further ado, I want to bring on Dr. Eric Paziski, medical doctor and GODSU chaplain. Dr. Eric, give us a little bit about your background and why you even go out of your realm to help people of every religion, that you don't discriminate. You just go ahead and you do what you can. Dr. Eric, you have the mic.
I think from an early age, I was trained that we are all human and part of the same family as such. and I had a beautiful guide in my father treating people that way. And I've continued to try to treat people in that way as it is. I do think that approaching it from the perspective of how you can make every interaction holy or a blessing to someone is particularly valuable in reducing friction among different faiths. I follow with a rabbi here who often will have members of other faiths speak on Shabbat to talk about the common values that we all share as religions to make life as glorious as we can for each of us to be in the spirit of our Maker. And so I think it's very nice to be on this panel with such a beautiful representation of others and be able to share that that the goal in medicine and in being a chaplain is to help the person function to their best ability. And I'm pleased to do that from my perspective.
I agree completely, Eric, and you've been a part of our family for many years, and with Dr. Willis, you've known him for almost 50 years and just have the best relationship. And what you see, guys, on this panel is what it's about. So you have medical doctors, you have Queen Mother, you have heads of mosque, you have an IT professional, and in their everyday life, they interact with folks from various religious backgrounds, and none of them discriminate. That this is a lesson that we really need to learn, that as Dr. Eric says, that as chaplains, our goal is to elevate that person to their best health or to their best use or to their whatever they want to achieve, without discriminating, by asking them, okay, what's your religion? Okay, so I'm going to treat you like this over here, which is at school I actually was a part of and had to leave because of that mentality. You know, I really believe that the one race, human, one space, earth, one embrace is so important, so important. I was just going to call on, let's highlight now again, Dr. Mohammed Ali. Dr. Mohammed Ali, you mentioned that you had actually gone into a workspace to represent your company, and the person took one look at you and decided that you could be the top IT engineer from Oracle. Like, who is this guy? I want to ask you, in terms of on the other side, being of the Islamic faith, you saw the way you were welcome here at GODSU, but kind of tell us about any other incident by which you had to prove that you were good enough, as opposed to being judged by your name or judged by the perception. Because, you know, perception, they say, is 100% is 100% the reality. I disagree. A perception many times is just a big mistake, just putting somebody in a box. So kind of tell us about those types of things and how did you resolve that and move forward?
Thank you very much, the Chancellor. So I live it every day. I'm quite sure Imam Talib will agree with me that as a Muslim in this country, no matter how good we are, no matter how highly placed we are, we still have this thing out there that says, well, maybe there's something this gentleman is hiding. So pretty much when I was in, I think it happened in Ohio, which was going to put a state to it. I was in Ohio and was supposed to go and then deliver services for my company. And we're inside the elevator going up. And then a call came in to the gentleman that came to pick me from the lobby. They say, hey, where are you? So, I came downstairs to pick an engineer to come and work. I asked Oracle to send to me an engineer, and they sent me a lemon. So I looked at him, and of course, I wouldn't say anything. I start walking. Okay, fine. So in my mind, I'm ready to call the human resource and record everything and report back. But I said, wait a minute. But if I just do that and it ends there, this guy is going to go back and begin to think he's really a lemon. If not, he wouldn't be calling the human resource. This is a diversity employee. All that will start coming in. So it's okay, let me go in there and show how lemon or how I can make lemonade out of lemon. So when there, 2 hours later, he's busy calling everybody to come and sit down. So come and sit to Mr. Ali. So please make sure you pay attention to what Mr. Ali is doing, because if he's gone, you guys are going to be doing it. So, and I came out there with my head high and, said, okay, this is gone. So, and I see it all the time, especially in the Appalachian region where we have good people out there as well. So that's where you see all these kind of people, redneck or what have you. But the name itself, Mohammed, attracts a lot of other interests. So my customers, the people I work with, they include the government as well. I remember one particular day I was coming back from Nigeria, went on this, on business trip or whatever, and I was coming back. And before going to Nigeria, I've been to a secure location in the US Army to deliver some services where my bag will be taken away from me, everything will be taken away from me, and a gun point to my head, and I'll be showing the computer, so, okay, this is the criminal that's having issue. You go there, from your brain, no paperwork, right? Do what you need to do. And once you finish doing it, then you get hell out of here. So when I was coming out, I have to show proof. I have been there and I did some work. So, and I said, okay, this I printed out. Is it okay for me to take it home? They said, yeah. If you've worked for government, Talib probably will be able to explain this. They will stamp it, declassified. All right? Red ink. Then you can take it and take it home. So I did that and I went to Nigeria. That is just after September 11 or so. So I was coming back, and then the security officer, Mohammed, it's one of them. Let's check your bags. Checking through, and then he saw that, and then he's asking me now, how many brothers and sisters do you have? I say, wait a minute. That doesn't have anything to do with immigration, right? So I don't know. So, he shouted on top of his lungs, say, hey, this guy doesn't know how many brothers and sisters he has. I keep my cool. Then he saw the document. He said, how did you come about this? I said, because I also have the same right you have to defend this country. So I'm doing the same work you are doing. And he took the document and said, okay, wait a minute. Went back inside, went and called his supervisor or whatever they are, bring the guy in, and then the guy take me to one corner and say, what do you do? Who are you? Who are you with? Blah, 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 blah. Then in fact, they scattered the whole bag, my carry-on luggage, my underwear was on the table. That is how humiliating it is. But I've learned over time, keep your cool. No matter how highly placed you are, you could be anybody. You can be humiliated because you are a Muslim. Your name is Muhammad, and I'm not going to change it. That's it, sir.
Oh my goodness, I didn't know all of that. I'm in tears. Oh my goodness.
Sorry.
I'm so sorry.
It's okay. Yeah.
I'm so sorry you got treated like that.
Yeah, that's what you see every day.
Just because of your name.
Yeah, you pass through that. Yeah. In fact, after I was here yesterday. I was telling everybody. I said I've been everywhere in this country. I've really been, right? And thank God for that. That God has spared my life, and through all that, even through September 11, all these issues, right? But I have an assignment. I was going to Canada every week, right? You have to cross the border. So every time when I come to the border, which my brother here will tell you, they say, oh, well, go there. So you go there. Then go and sit down for another 1 hour. They'll run through your passport. They'll say, come back again. Then go there. And the only reason that is happening is because of my name. My wife, who is also a Muslim, but her name is Zainab, it's not Mohammed, will pass through quite okay. It's got Zainab Ali. Okay, Ali, yeah. Muhammad Ali, yes. But yeah, Muhammad Ali, yeah, that one. The one we have was a good one. This one, we don't trust this one. So, and the officer looked at me and said, maybe you should go and get a global entry. That way, maybe it will cut down. It's not that it's going to stop us from stopping you, but the frequency with which we stop you will reduce. You see, I mean, look, I chose to do interfaith with all this at the background. I could have done Islamic chaplaincy because I'm a Muslim, but when I see the opportunity to say, okay, there's something called interfaith, I said, well, I've always been someone that is non-discriminating. I love all my friends, like I said earlier, are Christians. In fact, my senior brother married to a Christian, a Catholic Christian. In fact, most of all his kids, I mean, I can say maybe 50%, sorry, Mr. Imam, they are Christian and half is Muslim. Well, there's nothing you can do about it. That is family. We love each other. Christmas comes around, we celebrate Christmas. When it is Islamic festival, we jointly celebrate and we are happy about it. In fact, you can never tell who is who. But I hope one day that we all come to realize, especially in this country, that there's no difference between a Jew, a Muslim, a Christian, a Hindu, or whatever religion you happen to belong to. We are all one human, one race, together with one love. Yes.
Wonderful and so touching that you had to go through that. And you said one day, that day is today. You're here at GODSU. That day has happened. You're experiencing that day.
Thank you very
and
much.
that's why we invite more people.
I think it's instructive. I have a friend named Steve Leifman, who's a circuit court judge in Dade County. And when he was single, he had two youths that he supported as a big brother, big sister person. And he took these kids from about 6 and 5 until they both matriculated to college. One was going on college tours and called Steve and said, Steve, I'm really tight on money. I think I need about $300 to see the colleges I'm going to see. Mom just doesn't have the money now. Is there a possibility you could help? And Steve said, absolutely, but I have to drop off my date and then I'll come by. So Steve buzzes by this public housing project in his white convertible BMW, rings the bell, the door opens, he hands through $300 and is promptly tackled by the Miami police and arrested. And they feel like he's going for a drug buy because that's when fancy cars go to the wrong parts of Miami and money goes through doors. They had no idea that there could be another possibility. Um, and I think it was a wake-up call to Steve about the way people are treated. And I think it was a wake-up call to the police about how people are treated. And it was very uncomfortable, but the amount of learning that took place was very great. And I hope when these uncomfortable things happen, we can have great learning as well.
That's correct.
That is correct, and that is well said. The next person I want to speak is Imam Dr. Talib Sharif. Great perspective there given Dr. Muhammad Ali, and great recourse and great comeback, Dr. Eric Pozeski. We are in this together. We are GODSU. We are GODSU. So Imam Dr. Talib Sharif, if you want to go ahead and give your perspective, and then we're going to ask everybody to give a 30-second last words, and then we're going to go to our medical update, part 2, with Dr. Eric Pozeski, medical doctor. Go ahead, Imam.
Excellent. First of all, my best regards to our Queen Mother, and also good to see my dear friend, Chaplain Eric again. Good to be in your space as well. And certainly we want to thank you, Chaplain Muhammad Ali, for sharing what you shared with us. And that's why that's the beauty of this space, that we're able to learn more about each other and our human experiences. GODSU, I have to applaud GODSU because it started as a foundation, as a Christian foundation. It was like when I was young, my mother used to buy me a larger pair of shoes, and then I would grow into them because of our family situation at the time. So GODSU had a vision that was put in place, although its foundation was upon Christianity, the Bible, etc. Global, it was to grow into that, and it is growing to that now. And it is actually being a proponent of what it's professing, is that we share space, we share this space together. We're really all a part of each other. And really, GODSU was really trying to even help some Christians who were a part of it before it began to become that diverse that it was in its destiny. Some of them had negative ideas about others who didn't share their religious label or their religious identity. And in a sense, they were doing the same thing that those TSA officers and others have done to you, Muhammad, just because of your name. And those that didn't have the same religious label or religious name, some of them were looking at the fellow human beings the same way, treating them the same way. They're doing the same exact thing. And that's what happens, just because I don't have your same space. I don't have your same name. It's differences. And really Almighty God is telling us really from Adam that we can never come into our humanity. We'll never be the human being that Almighty God created us to be until we appreciate each one of our brothers and sisters in this diverse family of Adam. We're 99.9% the same. All of us are. There's only one human. That's why it's one humanity. That's why this oneness that sticks with global over there is this one. There's only one human type. There are no two types of human. We got a doctor right here. It's not based on a different heart. If you're black, if you're white, if you're Christian, if you're a Jew, no, it's a human heart. And everything else in the body is all the same. We have the same type of blood. We bleed, and we all have, and our chancellor showing human emotion, with your story, shows also that it's only one soul. We are many souls, like there are many humans, but it's only one human soul. And when we can connect with the human experience, then our soul, our human soul, is touched. We're in touch now with our own humanity. This is one of the beautiful things and why it's important for us as members of Global over there at University, Seminary University, to be the proponent. And what we are doing right now, this diverse picture that we're in right now, to maximize that picture as much as we can, so people can see us together, working together for our commonality. I'll end with this. In the Quran, God calls, he says, Ahil Kitab. I'm giving you classical language. And some see the translation that says people of the book. And that's really speaking to Abrahamic faith that received a book from heaven, right? But the actual translation, a better translation, is family of the book. Almighty God in the Quran is calling us family. Muslims say your Christian family, your Jew, they are family members. And he says to say, to alu ila kalimatin sawa. Again, it's classical language. But he's saying, start with what's common. This is what God says, start with what's common. If I look at you and look at the differences, then it's going to be difficult for me to get over that hurdle. But God says, start with what's common. And that's why it's best for us to go back to that first, because we all come from first. The body, again, inherits the past. In me is my mother and my father, their mother and father. I inherited that. And we all go back to the first parents that we all come from. And really, which really means that we really all are part of each other. And when we despise each other, we're despising ourselves, which means we're becoming constricted. Don't even know it. We're restricting our own self, our own growth, our own development, our own perspective, because we despising something that's really a part of us.
Well said, well said. Thank you so much for putting that perspective on, Imam Dr. Talib, Sharif. And I'm going to, again, give everybody else just 30 seconds to wrap up. I'm going to start with Dr. Eric. If you can give us your 30 seconds. Thanks.
I just think it's, if you look at everybody as if they were your brother or sister, you can deal with them in a much better way. Even if they're a very confused or impatient or unfair brother and sister, it still helps to view them as part of the family.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And next we want to go to Dr. Tony Myers Winfield, or Dr. Chiropractor here, GODSU.
Thank you. It reminds me of the Tower of Babel in Genesis, how the languages were confused, the cultures are confused. But if we work together, all of our goals originally were to reach God. And so if we do work together, it doesn't matter what language or what culture, what color skin we are, we will reach God. That was the whole purpose, to see if we were willing to set our differences aside and love each other, see the commonality, and reach God.
Beautiful. Wow. I need you to write that down and send it to me, because that was just touching. Thank you so much. And next we have our Queen Mother, Dr. Deloise Blakely. If she can, Chaplin, if she can give us her 30 seconds. Just a little bit about Queen Mother, for those of you who don't know. She has her master's and her PhD from MIT, Columbia University, Harvard. So well learned, as well as she's been at the UN for 52 years. She's been kind enough to allow us to go to Jamaica and open up NFFI Jamaica. And we were so pleased to do that when we were with Dr. Eric Pozeski. He was traveling with us to Jamaica. You don't know this, Queen Mother, but Dr. Eric Pozeski traveled with us to Jamaica to help us with whatever we needed to open up the NFFI Jamaica chapter. He actually had to go to the bank and say, hey, I'm real, because in Jamaica, they give you so much trouble to get stuff done that he actually flew in with us. So this is who you're dealing with, is that wonderful man of God. So Queen Mother, Dr. Deloise Blakely, please give us your 30 seconds, please. Thanks.
I would just like to interject just the thought of going to Jerusalem, just like John, to the holy city. And in that holy city, Friday, you in a mosque to pray. Saturday, you in a synagogue to pray. Sunday, in a church to pray. And what left in my consciousness as I travel the world, God is one. And God embraces all of us, in spite of all denominations, culture, tradition, and soul energy we possess. And I would say, as a daughter of the holy city of Tuba, Blackness of the culture of God, and called Fatimatu, Allahu Akbar. God is the greatest in all of our lives. because God is only God and God alone.
Well said. Please write that down and say, I mean, y'all just need to just write all this stuff down because I want to be able to put it on my vision boards and just keep knowing that there are people who, like myself, believe in unity, love, and peace instead of focusing on the differences. Let's focus on the commonalities. What do we have together? How can we build together? With that said, last 30 seconds to Dr. Mohammed Ali Chaplin.
Thank you very much. It's quite enlightening, all that I've learned today with this great group of people I'm here with. And of course, it's assuring to me that the days ahead are still very bright. So life is going to continue. Generations are going to come after us, and possibly their experience of how the world really is going to be different and better than we experience it. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Well said. Well said. I need all of this in writing. We have to put together our interfaith book. I just love everything that we said here. And we're going to show this video on YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, all over, because people really need to hear and understand the various perspectives. So thanks to our outstanding panelists. We appreciate you.
This is the best place to be right now for me. I am so grateful to God. I am thankful, and I give God all the glory.
Oh, wonderful.
Good. Actually, I'm Dr. John Osarere. I'm a consultant, technology and business advisor for business owners, service professionals, and entrepreneurs. I leverage their personal stories and their brand stories, as well as my own integrated strategy to maximize their revenue, as well as customer experience and retention. I believe actually that when I use my integrated strategy, I can measure customer journey accurately and then use it to the advantage. Website is www.integratedconsulting.org. www.integratedconsulting with competitive advantage. Thank you. .org. My numbers 646-56-755-79. Thank you.
Awesome. Wonderful. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome.
Wonderful. Thank you. Now we have the other outstanding workers and myself. I helped with being an outstanding worker. I helped with administrative work for GODSU and public relations for GODSU. And I am the MC, His Excellency Dakar, Director of Operations at GODSU. I'm the CEO of Dakar Marketing Tools. We are an international graphic, printing, and media company, providing you with all of your marketing needs to help you and your company grow. Our popular products are branded rings, branded pins, branded golf shirts, branded jackets, and GODSU African Diasporan Bibles. In addition, we provide merchandise that's crucial to your business's success, such as our magazines, banners, flyers, digital business cards, and printed business cards. And with our innovative tools, you can turn your brick and mortar into an e-commerce platform. During this time of constant Zoom meetings and webinars, we at Dakar Marketing Tools want to make sure you're prepared. With our Zoom for Profits course, you can follow the information on the screen for how to register on demand. Some of the courses are how to make money doing Zoom, Zoom Essentials, Zoom Basics, and turning your brick and mortar into an e-commerce platform. You can contact us. You can see the information on the screen. You can text us at 754-260-5157. Email us at info@thecarmarketingtools.com or visit our website, thecarmarketingtools.com. And at this time, I would like to extend a special appreciation to GODSU's leaders who volunteered many hours. We especially thank those who provided actual names, emails, and phone numbers of referrals for GODSU. And GODSU is grateful for the opportunity to add workers of God to our database, as well as register for our educational programs. I would like to ask you to please like, subscribe, comment, and share. And next week, we have our medical updates on COVID-19 and diabetes, and that is provided by GODSU Jewish Chaplain alum, our medical doctor, Eric J. Pozeski, MD. So look forward to seeing you all next week. And remember to join us tomorrow morning on our God Success Teacher Parade. Thank you.